green light. We're getting started. Hello everybody. Hi. How are you doing? It's always so tricky to understand when the live is actually starting. I never know how awkward am I acting the first minutes or so. So yeah, I guess I'll just wait. I have to fix one thing here. What is I don't know. There's something new here, I guess. Some new settings I didn't know they existed. Hello Julie, hello Sweet Dream, hello Zaki, hello everybody. How are you all doing? I hope all is well. I am so excited to be streaming and have you all here. So yeah. Do you guys know something about Philips Hue system? Because I got this hi Anonymous, how are you doing? I got this Philips lamp. Is the iris lamp, is the one that is making this hot pink reflection behind me, and it only works with the Philips hub bridge, but it's not working. Like, the hub doesn't find the lamp, and it's crazy. Hi Owen, cutie pie, hello. So Zaki, how was work during this week? You've been very busy, so tell us, how was it? How was your shift? Did you have any accidents, or did everything go smooth? How was you guys' Labor Day in general? How did you spend it? We don't celebrate here, so I don't really know how, like, I don't know much about this tradition, or how, I don't know its history or how you guys celebrate whatsoever, so I would like to know more if you'd like to share with me. I'm so glad that finally Zaki and Owen are sharing the same live session after a while of having been separated. Julie, how did you spend your Labor Day? Did you spend it with the family? 12 weddings. OMG. Like, all the people who waited throughout the COVID are now getting wild, aren't they? They're doing anything they were not allowed to do during the lockdown moment, and they're just getting married all the time. Thank you, Anonymous. I'm glad you find it soothing. Actually, I've been coughing a lot these past days, and I don't know. I was like, am I gonna be able to stream? Because it's sounding awkward. Actually, I also wanted to film a little bit today, but I felt like my voice wasn't really on top, so I was like, I'm not gonna film. But I don't know. I'm gonna film tomorrow, I hope. I don't know. Yes, many people think that Zaki and Owen are the same person, but I want to say they are not, because I have seen both of them, because I follow their channels, and they're two different people. Oh, Julie, I'm so sorry. I hope not in a bad form, and I hope you guys didn't contract the virus. Oh goodness. Yeah, the problem is this spread. Like 12 weddings, I would cry if I had to attend 12 weddings in a freaking weekend. Like, it's go, 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 never stop, never relax, right? Funny, absolutely out of topic, but not too much. thing. Also, the fitness personal trainer that I follow here on YouTube got married, but I don't think it was this weekend. It was actually past weekend, and it's Sydney Cummings. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her workouts or with her channel, but I've been following her for years, not doing her workouts all the time, of course, but I always go back to her workouts every now and then. Oh, and I'm so glad you're doing better this week. It's very important to be surrounded by people that bring you positivity. Wow, so a lot of people got married on Labor Day. I don't know, I don't know much about this Labor Day thing, so I cannot say, but if it were me, I wouldn't get married on a festive day unless it was a Sunday, but I would most likely get married on a Saturday. Does it make sense? I don't know why though. Hi Gemma, your vacation is coming closer. Are you excited? Gemma's going into a very fancy place to celebrate her birthday. So I'm very happy because after all the restrictions and stuff, she's finally been able to celebrate, and that's so cool. So you guys, I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. Julie, I really hope the virus is not too violent on your younger baby and child, maybe not baby, and that you guys did not contract the virus. So I'm now telling you a funny story. So I'm the past year I've been doing a lot of therapy, and my therapist has been helping me a lot figure out so many things about my life and my mind and the way I function, I guess. And so now we're starting to re-educate myself, basically, to allow myself to do the things that I like for the sake of doing them. And so he wanted me to make a list where I had to write down all the things that give me pleasant sensations. And I really didn't know. I made a list, my dog's fur, petting my dogs and feeling their silky fur on my hands, or just playing with this thing right here. And I didn't know that basically the task that I have to do now is to perform 15 minutes every day of this activity that I choose, that I love a lot, and just enjoy the sensations of it and analyze them in a sense. So now I have to spend 15 minutes really playing with this and looking at it, realizing what kind of feelings am I getting. And it's so curious because most of the time I'm like, no, we don't have time, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I cannot stop here and do something I like just because it's funny. And I honestly do not remember when was the last time I did something fun, really enjoying and analyzing the experience for what it was without thinking about anything else. It's crazy. Hey Judy, hello. No, you're not late. I started a little bit earlier actually, so you're not late at all. I'm doing well, thank you. I just had a little bit of cervical pain after my therapy the other day, and the day yesterday I was super exhausted, but today I'm doing well, luckily. So yeah, I'm super hyped for this live stream finally. How are you? How have you been feeling lately? Let me read what Zaki said. I worked Thursday last week, but not full shifts because my sister didn't coordinate the wedding. She had 3 rehearsals. It was my sister's boyfriend's cousin who coordinated. She needed me Friday didn't work because I had the day off. My sister also had the day off because she went to a music festival with her friends. I didn't go with her. Saturday I worked. Everything was fine and good. Damn, Zaki, you're so busy. I need a map to understand your busy schedule. Yeah, Junie, it's crazy. I mean, it's not that like I live my life and I'm like, oh, boring. There are some things that I enjoy, like being here with you guys and talking to you is something that I enjoy a lot. But like one thing that I haven't done in so much is really like cut out all the rest. Like for example, like my task is now to just, I shouldn't even set a timer. I do set a timer because I'm anxious, but just take some time. And we chose that the activity is to play with this puppet, and I just have to take some time to observe the puppet, look at the colors of it, and analyze the sensation that I get, and just play with it without thinking about anything else. It's a subtle difference. I think I cannot explain it really well. But yeah, I haven't done something like that in like forever. Oh, I'm so glad you had a good day yesterday and that today has been alright too. I hope in general you're feeling better. I think the days are getting quite shorter in Sweden right now, because I was watching this video the other day. Well, actually it's a YouTuber who lives in the Svalbard island, and she experienced the first sunset after 180 days. So I thought, if sun is setting in Svalbard, then it must be setting even like earlier in Sweden. Does it even make sense? I go to heaven next week. I will still talk to you on my holiday. We'll take some photos of me on holiday. Oh yeah, definitely, Gemma, you have to enjoy your holiday 100%. Take a lot of photos every second, every moment. You just have to love it. Oh, same here. Around 8 p.m. we're matching. That's cool. But I think it's gonna get dark much sooner in winter for you guys. In winter for us, the soonest it gets dark, I would say like in December/January would be like 4:40. I don't know, how about you? Hi Shyla. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I suck at pronouncing names. English is not my native language, and so yeah, I'm really bad at that. I apologize if I mispronounced your name, but hi, how are you doing? It's so glad to see Zaki and Owen finally virtually hugging each other again and witness this moment of reunion between you guys. I know there has been a little bit of people that have been bothering you guys a little bit, and I'm sorry about that. I will try my best to protect you guys and make sure that doesn't happen on my channel. I would not want to take any drastic measurement for this to happen, but I'm ready to do that in case that still keeps happening. Oh, thank you. I am trying this new foundation. Well, it's not new. It was an old sample that I've been having for I think years, but it was like sealed in its box, and it's the Dior. I don't remember the name, but it's a Dior foundation that barely has zero coverage. But if I apply it with my hands, I really like the way it looks. Sad thing that I already ran out of it and it's too expensive for me, so I need a new foundation that is like covering but also mattifying but also natural. Oh my gosh, Julie, I'm so sorry. I hate hiccups. I had hiccups this morning. When I woke up, I had terrible hiccups. I just started sipping on a lot of water without breathing, like sip, 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 and it went away. Hi, Lauren. Hello. How are you doing? 4 days until you start your new job. I'm excited. Well, 7:40 is not much different from 8. I mean, I think the human perception is kind of, but I mean, is it at 8 like pitch black? Because here it's not pitch black, but it's definitely, you cannot say it's daytime anymore. Oh, thank you, Junie. You guys, I have to tell you one thing about my hair. I wanted to keep it a surprise, but also, now that Junie mentioned my hair, I had to do this thing. I was watching the twin collab video, the twin video that I made the other day, and I received a lot of compliment about the dark hair. And I actually noticed that I kind of miss the dark hair. It's such a commitment to make my hair this fair, and it's a canvas, it's a white canvas for any color, so I end up keeping it like this forever. And I decided that I am going to change my hair color, but I'm gonna use a semi-permanent dye, so I think I can like easily come back to this shade. I hope it doesn't turn out green, but I should be able to come back to this shade. Mac Studio, where is the message? Oh my gosh, I lost it. Lauren, Mac Studio Fix is good for those things, but it's crazy expensive. Yeah, Mac is so freaking expensive. I heard of the Studio Fix. One thing I don't like about Mac is that, like, when you go into the stores, they never expose the prices, so I feel very intimidated to buy their products, and I don't like to buy products online because I need to try them. So I've never been a Mac fan for this specific reason, but I needed this foundation. I definitely need that, so I will do my research. Dusk. Oh, that's what dusk means. I've heard it a lot and was like, dusk. It's not sunset, it's not day, it's not night. What the hell is dusk? Okay, now I got it. So I think, yeah, we're kind of matching now, Junie, in terms of daylight. My hair like this, I don't like, I only have to fix the regrowth. I usually didn't mind keeping a very visible regrowth that almost looked like a chatouche, but now that I want to keep it like from the roots, I have to color it like every month and a half, and it's a bit invasive. Then I have to do a silver shampoo every time I wash my hair, and have to let it sit for even 10 minutes to bring it to this white. And this is why I'm so affectionate to this color, because it's such a commitment. It requires so much dedication. Like, you really want to have this hair color, because if you don't do the right things, it's gonna look bad. But also, I don't know, I miss a more natural color, so I think I'm gonna try something different. Oh, thank you, Julie. I think that I think I really liked how that hair looked on me, but I think that the result was a little bit misleading, because being a wig, the hair looked very thick and dense, but in real life my hair is super thin, so I don't know how it could look like, because being my hair so thin, my scalp can be pretty visible if the hair is very dark. So I don't know if it would actually look this good, but I will try to recreate my natural color. So yeah, I'm gonna try. If I walk into a store where the prices aren't readily displayed, I know I'm over my head. Exactly, Julie. Junie, sorry. Oh, now I start freaking out. I'm sorry, you guys. I need to see those freaking prices. Because if I'm broke, I want to be able to walk out of that store without everybody finding out that I am freaking broke. So dawn is the opposite of dusk. I see. Okay, in Italian we would say crepuscolo. It's a very romantic word, I think. Crepuscolo. Oh, wow. You would look so hot in silver hair. Oh my gosh. Well, you do look hot no matter what. But definitely, yeah, silver hair is such a high maintenance color. Oh, don't worry, Lauren. My connection is really bad as well. I don't even know how you guys can see me. Oh, really? Julie? Yeah, Julie. Oh, shit. I can't. Like, when I start messing up the names. Sorry about that. Julie. I thought that my bangs would make my face look very fat. I didn't really like it. Hi, lady. Hello, beautiful. How are you doing? Zaki has a question. I see me and Owen in the comments, and we both have similar interests. Do you think that me and Owen love each other? Yes, Zaki. I think you and Owen love each other as friends, at least. I think you could be best friends in real life, if that makes sense. I know, it's so crazy because, like, I hate when people mess up my name. Like, I just hate it. And my grandma, anytime she tries to call me, she mentions our entire family members. Like, she starts from her parents, then goes to my uncles, and then my brother, and then eventually comes up with my name, and it's like, just say my name. Okay, I'm glad connection seems to be working fine. Do you have optic fiber, Lauren? I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad you made it to the live, because last time you joined just in the moment that I was closing, and I don't even know if I actually I said hi, Libby, but I don't know if that was during the live stream or when the live stream was already over. So I'm glad you're here, so now I can say hi for real. Yeah, I know, Zaki. I just wanted to say that because in Italian we have different words for love as a friendship and love as a relationship, but in English there is not this difference. So I am always a little bit confused when I want to express something. I didn't mean to say anything awkward. I just wanted to say that you guys love each other, and that's a great thing. Why would people make fan fictions? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, Junie, actually it's fun. Like, grandmas are always fun when they do these things, because, you know, they're so old and they're trying their best and they just cannot make it. But I have no excuses. Like, I'm not as old, so my brain better function right. Oh my gosh, yes. We want Owen and Zaki to meet up in video and vlog the in person and vlog the entire experience on a video. Please, you guys, do that. You gotta do that. Fiber. The problem is the Wi-Fi. yeah, you're definitely gonna need a stronger connection for your work, I think. Yeah. So when you have a friend or a family member or someone that is not like your partner, and you want to tell them that you love them, you tell them ti voglio bene. Ti voglio bene. Which literally translated like I want you right. It doesn't really make sense, but we say that a lot, ti voglio bene. But when you have a partner, like when I talk to George, I don't say ti voglio bene. I say ti amo. And yeah, I can say ti amo to my mom and dad, of course, or like to my best friend, but it could bring a little bit of confusion, if you will. So in general, we would say ti voglio bene to friends and ti amo to partners. So it's always like hard for me to, explain when I'm being asked in English. Will be taking care of me? Will stop there with me? You don't know who's there. You don't know that. Well, Sam, I'm sure you will be safe. Hey Jesse, hello ASMR brother, how are you doing? So you guys, we have the power trio here. The three musketeers are now joining. 3 is the magic number. We have Jesse, we have Zaki, we have Owen, which means that the stream is working. Well, it's curious, like there are, in different languages there are so many shades of words. For example, I don't remember which language it was, but when they wanted to mean it's snowing, like they have like, I don't know, several words to describe snow. Like it's snowing fast, it's a word. It's snowing diagonally, it's another word. It's snowing with big flakes, and that's another word again. But in Italian it's just neve, sta nevicando. It's snowing, sta nevicando. Because we don't have much snow here, we don't need to like identify it with any specific words. For example, in English, when you want to mean blue, dark blue or light blue, you always say blue, and in Italian instead we say blue for blue, but azzurro for light blue. So it's so curious that there are so many different words in different languages that add so much value to the meaning of something itself. Yeah, I so wish I could speak any language in this world to really understand like all the meanings and stuff. Like there are so many things that I only started understanding more by just seeing them being translated in other languages, if that makes sense. All right, Gemma, bye. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Libby. Italian is a very melodic language, I guess. I had this Canadian friend when I was in high school. She was an exchange student, and she told me that in Canada they say that when they hear Italian people speaking, it sounds like they're singing. But it's like interesting. In Swedish we have the word tomteflingor, the big thick snowflakes. Wow, so you guys do have different words for that. Tomteflingor. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but oh gosh, Swedish is such a cool language. I'm now watching this Netflix show. It's called Mr. Robot, and there is this guy which is also very hot, and his wife. They speak Swedish between each other, and I am just so fascinated wowed by how cool Swedish sounds. I just need to learn it. Oh, Zaki, I love everyone in the chat too. Owen, thank you. You're amazing. You guys are amazing. It's cool because any language has some characteristics. Like, I remember when I was in Germany, listening to German people speaking, they all sounded like so harsh. But even when they were saying something cute, they were actually sounding so harsh and like very rigid in a sense. But languages, German is one of the most like deepest and most analytic languages I've ever tried to learn, and it's insane. Oh, really? Tomte flingor. Now I'm gonna say that all the time, like tomte flingor. Try to find resources. Yeah, I would love to. Because like when I learn a language, I usually start like from the basics of grammar and like the basic vocabulary. So like at first I would like to learn like the verb to have, to be, how to say your name, how to say the time, the weather, the numbers, how to pronounce letters, and then some grammar rules like possessive adjectives and things like that, like the very basics. But I don't like when you learn languages from something like Duolingo or things like that. They don't teach you that structure so much. And the way I've been learning Portuguese has been much different since I have never studied grammar. I just listen to a lot of music and of course have been to Brazil or tried to speak it with my boyfriend. So I am kind of like soaking the language, if it makes sense, but I still have a lot of grammatical knowledge lacks, and it makes me feel like I'm naked, like when I want to speak but I cannot come up with the right sentence structure or the right verb conjugation. So oh my gosh, Icelandic accent. Do you want my heart to melt? I am obsessed with Iceland. I wish I could speak Icelandic and Swedish. I don't know why I have this obsession with like Northern European countries, but like during the night I always dream that I'm in Iceland and I get to see puffins and things like that. I don't know. And I always try to watch like TV shows that have been made in Sweden or Iceland, sometimes even Norway, but like Sweden and Iceland are my favorite. Oh, Jesse, do you like Italian language? The Italian grammar is really hard. Well, Junie, after having studied languages like since I was a child, like, you know, starting to learn English in primary school, and then again English and French in secondary school, and then English, French, and German in high school, and then in Spanish in university, I kind of how can I say understood what works best for me. Yeah, Julie, I agree that immersion is the best way to learn a language because you're there and you're just assimilating it. But I think that there are some grammatic rules that you just have to memorize. And Giovanna, thank you. Do you think I speak fast? I never thought of myself like somebody who speaks fast, but already a couple of people told me that, and it's crazy because, wow, I'm proud of that. there are some rules that grammatics can help you with. So I think it should be like a, yes, immersion, but also like, of course, some grammar studies. Wouldn't it be great to learn? I had this technique to learn languages. I've never been a slut or something, but I dated a guy that was from Cameroon, and he spoke French, and my French knowledge skills went up from like 10 to 1000 thanks to just practicing with him and his family and stuff. And then I started dating this Dominican guy, and that's how I learned Spanish. And now I have a Portuguese, a Brazilian boyfriend, and I'm learning Portuguese. Like, you guys might think the worst things of me, but literally, I haven't had many stories. But when I do have stories, I try to find something stimulating, and language is a stimulating thing to me. So yeah, I try to learn it with a foreign boyfriend, I guess. Cinema Paradiso. I heard of that, but forgive my ignorance, Jerry. I am crazy tonight. You guys, what am I even saying? Jerry. Who's Jerry? Sorry, Jessie. I got up very early this morning, and this is my only excuse to justify me mispronouncing anything in this moment. But I heard of Cinema Paradiso, but I don't think I ever watched something about it. Oh wow, that would be so cool in that case. Lauren, oh my gosh, I never really understood the rules of Never Have I Ever. Literally, we don't play it here, I think. Yeah, I would love to learn Swedish with you, Junie. Like, seriously though. But I think you should, like, even send me some vocal messages or things like that, so that I can, like, learn the pronunciation. Because you guys have this way to pronounce things. Like, I was watching this video, and there was this town called Pyramid, but this girl that was Swedish would say something like pyramid, something like that. Yeah, pyramid. And I was like, wow, that's so fascinating. And I remember I was watching this Swedish YouTuber that sometimes, even when she speaks English, she's like, me, something like that. Don't talk to me. Or she makes a weird sound, and people thought that she has like a deformation in her throat or something. But I mean, just because they were rude, I've always been so fascinated by this sound instead. It's like so challenging to learn. I don't think we have that game in Europe. I see it a lot in US movies, but I don't think we play Never Have I Ever in Europe. I think the only like adrenaline game besides hide and seek is the bottle game, the one where you make the bottle turn and then you have to kiss the person that the bottle indicates. And I've never been lucky enough to play that game when I was in my hormonal storms in my teenage years. But yeah, isn't that so fun? Like, hi Cameron, how are you doing? Okay. Ennio Morricone is something like very, very 60s. Am I right? Really make the I sounds as you heard on YouTube, I think, but there are still shows. I'm not sure I have sounds. I think like people maybe in Stockholm speak more like that. I think this girl in particular is from Stockholm, so I don't know if that actually makes sense, but I think like any language there are, its accents and stuff. So yeah, definitely there will be other, but I'm pretty sure like you kind of make it, but maybe you don't realize you're making it because it's still like kind of characteristic. Owen, you're wonderful too. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. Owen and Zaki, since you always say like we deserve like a treat, a diamond, a rose or something, you guys deserve a psychedelic fan. How do you like it? Oh yeah, cool. I always get so excited when I can detect accents. Not that I am a Swedish language expert, but I'm like, yay, because when you detect an accent, you feel like a pro. Like if I hear people speaking Spanish, I can very easily recognize if they're like from Spain, Colombia, Caribbeans, or Peru, and it's so cool. Is this too loud? Oh, don't say that, Julia. I don't think I'm intelligent. Thank you for that. But I just think that I have like maybe particular sensibility to languages. But I don't think I used to be smart, like when I was in high school. But I think I lost a lot of that ability. After I started working at McDonald's, I really started becoming just like a number with no ambitions. And even though it's now more than 1 year that I quit that awful job, I still feel like that. I feel like I have been literally lobotomized. I used it in a couple videos that will be released, and with the Rode mics, they are very sensitive to this sound. Therefore, I had to, like in the editing, I had to lower down the volume in the fan portion. But I think, yeah, that this mic is not being too sensitive to it, so it's kind of pleasant. Also, it makes a pleasant wind on my face. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. But how is the image quality? Like I look in the viewfinder and it's really crappy. I hope it's not that crappy for you guys. Oh, did you hear that? Well, Judy, I think we've both suffered a lot. Of course, we're not the only ones, especially here in this chat. I think that there is a lot of people who have gone through a lot, and well, like I cannot even like listen to that specific episode where I explained the details of my mental breakdown, because it's like insane. And when I was trying to record that episode, I was still so shook, I guess, and crazy. And now I am a little more rational, maybe, but I think that it will take me so long to fix the broken pieces. Like now, like last year, I was torn into 1,000 pieces and I couldn't even find them. Like I literally saw myself like a broken mirror with all the pieces laying on the floor, but you cannot like put them together. Now some pieces I see they are starting to, you know, go back, but it's a journey. Oh, thank you for telling me that the image quality is, well, good enough, because I see like here in my monitor and it sucks. I'm like, what? Yeah, that one is really, really triggering for real. Like, I wouldn't want somebody that is very sensitive to that to listen to it, of course, and that's why I put it in the title and there's a disclaimer at the very beginning of it. But in case, you know, somebody wanted to like listen to that story or share the experience, it's starting to smell awkward. I better give it a break. Ew. Gross. Looks like it's burning. Alright. So yeah, I thought like it could be helpful to share for somebody who might need it, but oh, thank you, Junie. And thank you, Julie. Luckily, therapy has been helping me a lot. And also like my parents. Oh, thank you. And I'm glad if you're staying. I'm so glad. I'm so very glad. Let me start a little bit of tuning fork. I think it's overheating. Yes, Junie. That's why it was smelling like that. Yeah, I don't think it's something that you should use like for a long time. What's the tagline? So, therapy has been helping me a lot, especially like, my parents have been taking me seriously. Our relationship changed a lot, especially the one between me and my mom. And that's definitely a big part of the healing process. Not feeling validated by your family meant a lot in a negative way. Yay, tuning fork, but it's not like, oh yeah, now it's loud. Because I had the tiny hammer to make it ring, but I'm just too lazy to go grab it, and sometimes I cannot really like hit the fork right, and then it's like to makes that annoying metallic sound. So I was like, I'd rather play it with my hand, at least when I'm doing live sessions. But for my videos, I should probably go back to the hammer. I'm really glad you guys are liking the tuning fork. Not too long ago, I made this video, an ear cleaning video, and I used the tuning fork at the beginning. And there was this person telling me, glad you put the tuning fork at the beginning so I can skip it. And I was like, I got so paranoid, like, why is the tuning fork bothering somebody? I mean, and if I put it at the end of a video or the central part of it, then could it really be bothering to somebody? You know, when you want to please everybody, it's so hard to kind of do the right thing, I guess. I like this wavy moment right here. I could listen to tuning forks for ages. Yeah, not true. Like, most of the people love it, and I love when Shani uses it. I think Shani has this talent to implement amazing triggers in all her videos. Like, she's very creative and original. I'm glad you're liking the wavy. I usually really love this wavy tuning fork sound, or even like pass it from one side to the other of the binaural mics. Here, I'm not using this into a binaural way now. Let me try, but there is a lot more white noise if I do so. Doesn't really make much of a difference, does it? I think I'm gonna switch it back to this is better sound quality, I think. By the way, I got this adapter so I can connect my Yeti to the phone. Of course, I cannot like stream for long times with it, but I can like make fancy TikToks or like my 10-minute trigger videos on Patreon. There are some triggers that I really like with the Yeti, but one thing I don't like about the Yeti is that it has to be plugged. And it used to be plugged to my computer, and no matter how cool your computer can be, you can always hear the bzzz sound of the fan going on. So the fact that I can actually plug it to my phone now is giving me so much freedom. Yeah, it's not that binaural. You're right, Junie. Well, when I had to buy a mic for streaming, I thought I could use my Tascam DR40, but the Tascam DR40 is too old and it's not being perceived as a microphone by the computer. The Tascam DR40X can, but the DR40 cannot. So I needed to buy a new microphone for my live streams. And there was the Blue Yeti Nano that was like 120 euros, and then there was the normal Yeti that was 180 or 150. And I read the characteristics, and it seemed like the Yeti Nano had the same characteristics as the normal Yeti. So I was like, all right, then I'm gonna buy the Yeti Nano. But it's not true. Like, if you use this pattern, like monodirectional pattern, it kind of sounds okay. I can't complain too much. But if you use the omnidirectional, it doesn't sound good. Yes, absolutely, Junie. I wanted to know that because I noticed that when I changed the pattern, the white noise is much more disturbing. So if it was not necessary to use it, it's actually much better for me not to use it. My name's Zach. Yeah, Zaki, that's true. Also, I think like Zaki is a cute way to address to you, like, you know, affectionate way. Oh yeah, when definitely Lumi is an amazing ASM artist and also a lovely person. think I will buy some different frequency tuning forks. It would be very interesting to have different ones to make different sounds. Oh, what a fail. It's harder than it looks, you guys. Ringing the tuning fork correctly is not as easy. Oh yeah, that's true. They're great friends, aren't they? They live like kind of close, so they meet a lot. That is so cool. I so wish I could like meet some members of the community and be friends with them. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could? I was just saying this, like, it would be so damn dope. Like, in real life, I don't have many friends, and they don't know what ASMR is, and they think like being a YouTuber is like being a loser, so I cannot really talk much with them. My best friend understands me and validates me and my dreams and my goals, but she's the only one I can talk to. Oh yeah, because there are so many different like shapes for different sound waves. It's so cool that people gave her a tuning fork. People in her community. I also know that somebody helped her buy a new camera when her older camera broke. And I mean, wow, that's a really a lot, because gear is freaking expensive. Yes, but does your family understand what ASMR is, or like it, or do they think it's creepy or weird? Because like my family, they kind of like watch my ASMR content, and I think they have been a little bit curious to see how other ASMR artists did ASMR, so that's how they started like understanding what ASMR was. But they're not really like ASMR lovers. I think they still find it crazy. Like one day my father was like, so the way to make things work is for you to dress up like a fake doctor. But I understand that, like, they were born in the 60s. There was no technology back then, and career was definitely not sitting in front of a camera in your pajama pants. So I get it. You know, I was watching the live during TingleCon. There was this live. There was Shani. There was Cap Bailey. There was Atlas, and another ASM artist. And they were talking about, you know, their channel, how they do cinematic ASMR. And Atlas said that he only does one video every month. And Shani said, oh, I'm so jealous. I wish I could make one video every month too, but my audience would be very disappointed. So basically, Shani has to like make 3 videos every week or something, because otherwise she would disappoint people. I don't know. I mean, I was intrigued by that. I wish like it's she didn't say, of course, complain in it. I think it's a very beautiful thing when your audience claims your content, and that's what she wanted to say. Like, maybe sometimes she wish she didn't have to like necessarily upload a video, but also she loves that she is being so welcomed and accepted. That's what I'm trying to say. She didn't like tapping sounds at all when I showed her some ASMR, but I don't think he really knows what it is. well, for men it's different, I think, especially for parents. Okay, cool. And how did they react to your writing? I think that's lovely. What do you mean, Owen, by saying patient? Yeah, it's so cool when people like understand it. When I talk to my therapist, I don't think he fully understands what ASMR is. But he tries. He gets the technical aspect of it. Yeah, I think so. I think she needs that steady upload to keep growing, yes, but also that she does put a lot of pressure on herself, because there are several artists that do upload a lot of content every week, but they don't necessarily create masterpieces all the time. As Lauren was helping me notice, there are some patterns in creators uploads, and they still of course create great videos, but not all of them are top-notch masterpieces. Shani only does top-notch masterpieces. Oh, okay, Owen, I see. Oh, first yawn of the evening, you guys. Why am I smelling it? I don't know. Don't you guys ever find yourself smelling things without even knowing why? Please tell me I'm not the only one who smells random things. Well, I have been like very impatient with some Shani videos. Like, I couldn't wait for her cyberpunk video to be released. I couldn't wait for Cruella to be released. I couldn't wait for Yandere themed videos to be released. There was also something else that I was so impatient to watch. I can't recall. I'm usually very impatient for Shani's videos, but those specific ones that do create a lot of hype, I'm like, yay! Oh my gosh, really? I'm so glad I'm not the only one. Like, sometimes I find myself smelling things and I'm like, why though? New plastic items. Which ones? Like in general or game instruction manuals? I love it. Yeah, liquid ink pens. I think you like smells with a little bit of chemical undertone in it, if it makes sense. I really love the smell of pharmacies. Well, it's not like the smell of it kind of gross, but it's a curious smell. Like if you're wearing something like that and you kind of sweat in it, and then you like lift it and smell your wrist. I love that smell. It's weird, right? Oh yeah, the Mortal Kombat video, I couldn't wait. We do. It's so great because in general I always feel like a crazy weirdo in real life. Hard plastic, like new keyboards. Okay, I see. You know, a smell that I really like is the smell of inflatables. Like those swimming pool things that, you know, you inflate and they float. I love their smell. It's so good. Oh yeah, Julie, don't worry. It's okay. What? You don't know that smell, Junie? You gotta find it. And you gotta smell it. It can also be a little bit similar to, I don't know if you remember those like 90s sandals that were used at the beach, that it was like in that kind of a gum slash plastic, and they were like, I don't know, half transparent, and they were like blue, red. I think Rihanna kind of made a new vision of those, and she called them something like jelly shoes or something. I'm not really sure now, but they smell kind of good. A ghost dog. Wait, do you have a ghost dog in your house, Lauren? Can you introduce him to us? I love dogs and I love ghosts. Okay. I got lost. Which smell you don't know then? If you like the smell of inflatable, there is something else you don't know, and I got lost in that passage. But yeah, inflatables, they smell so good. Yeah, do you remember, like, they were such ridiculous, but I remember I was obsessed with those sandals when I was a child. I surely had some red ones, and after you started sweating in them, they got so slippery, and then your fingers would just come out of the sides. It was ridiculous. Junie working on Halloween. Yes, I'm so excited. You guys, I got fangs for this Halloween. I'm planning a vampire themed roleplay video, and I want to wear fangs. I've never worn fangs in my life before, so I don't know if it's gonna take a learning curve or something. Julie, if you can give me any tips about that, like how to use the glue and stuff, I would love to. But I'm so excited for Halloween. I think I will make 4 Halloween themed video, like for the entire month of October. I don't know, the smell that you felt from it. Oh, okay. Sorry, Junie. Yeah. I mean, it's legit understandable that you don't know that smell. When I was a child, I used to smell that a lot. Like when I was in school and I was being bored, I remember that I would always do this. It's ridiculous. Like, why am I even talking about it online? I love fangs. Justin, when did I sound American? When? What did I do? I'm so excited. I love when I can impersonate like a nativity trait a lot. Oh, Zaki, there will be a... Okay, Lauren, I got it. I got fangs. Yay. I am obsessed with fangs to the point that I even wanted to like get real fangs, like in real life fangs. There was a phase in my teenage years that I was like super obsessed with vampires and goth and darkness and stuff, that I really wanted. Like, I remember that I was always doing this with my teeth to see if they were like sharp enough, and trying to like smile and show them, because I thought they were like vampirish. And yeah, I wanted to have enough money to make implants and have like real life fangs, like for my entire life. And then I met a guy whose brain got actually burned by drug addiction, but he had fangs like the ones I wanted to have, but he was very ugly and the fangs looked disgusting. So yeah, you know, it's funny because like when we talk about something that is kind of gross but it's also normal, it feels so nice to know that somebody else is doing that same thing. Like I don't know, I bite my nails, I do that too. Wow, that's cool. But it's not something that you go ahead and tell everybody like, I bite my nails, I'm cool, right? or just pick the skin around my nails. I'm obsessed with picking the skin around my nails. So now, since we are in theme with this conversation, and I got a smartwatch and now I have my notification here, you guys, I feel so dope. Anyways, I pick skin around my nails a lot. Yeah, I love that too. Like, the actor, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. What's his name? I love him so much. He did Dracula Untold, by the way. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. He also did the Alienist. Luke Evans. I think Luke Evans' real life fangs are so hot. Like, he is so hot. Ghost dogs. Oh my god. Do you like my watch, Jessie? Thank you. It's a super cheap one, but it, from far away, it looks like a fancy one, doesn't it? Plus, insane, I didn't even notice that, like, it's matching my phone case and my watch string. So it's like looking like a real girl boss, you know. I'm feeling so fancy. And it's also matching my nose clipper. Would you guys like some clipped nose ASMR tingles? Let me humble myself a little bit for you guys, because I love this so much. Like, it's my favorite trigger. I could listen to this trigger for my entire life, so I'm forcing you guys to listen to it as well. No, seriously, if you guys don't like it, just please tell me. But I just love the way it sounds. You didn't know who he was? Like, he is so hot. Did you Google him? Isn't he like boiling hot? Yeah, he has those natural fangs. Like, I just love him. I literally like stalk him on Facebook. There is this page, I don't know if he's running it or his managers are running it from him, and one day he posted a photo, and down in the comments there were women being like, oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed that he's gay, stuff like that. And I replied to everybody being like, why the fuck are you being disappointed if you're not gonna put your hands on that banana anyway? Like, let him be. Yeah, why are we talking about Luke Evans' banana right now? Please, bring me back on the right path. It's definitely this nose clipper. It's taking the oxygen away from my brain. Plus, it's almost 10 p.m. So, isn't he gorgeous? Like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. Like, he's such a great actor. Like, when he acts, he's being that protective creator character, and it's like so cool. Sorry, I got too distracted because previous mom was live streaming on YouTube too. She was painting a Halloween picture. Oh, how cool! Just do not worry, it's okay. No way, the banana emojis. Oh my god, guys, I really didn't want to end up being, well, maybe it's better that Jesse got distracted, so I'm not gonna traumatize him with this fruit salad that we're talking about right now. But you know, sometimes it's okay, right? Isn't it? Oh, Garrett, hello. I'm sorry, I just love your real name so much that I always end up calling you with your real name. I hope you don't mind. If you don't want me to use your real name, please tell me, otherwise I'm gonna tell it all the time. Maybe there's a trigger that overlooks. Probably, I don't know. I gotta search the hashtag and see where it takes me. No, don't worry, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, Prim is definitely amazing. I was following her a lot because in 2017 I had blue hair, and I think she had blue hair as well back then. I don't know. Now she doesn't have any blue hair anymore, I think. But yeah, I love her ASMR and her creativity and her voice. It's not really easy to find an artist that has the perfect soft spoken voice. There are very few who do have it, and Brim is definitely one of those. Um, yeah, it's been a while since I haven't watched her videos as well. But she's definitely like really, really cool. Okay, can we talk about like hot actors? Because now I got so lit thinking about Luke Evans that I'm trying to like brainstorm and see if there are other actors that make me so excited about watching movies. Definitely Keanu Reeves. Something. Oh, thank you. I feel so lit right now. No, but please tell me if that's not like, I wouldn't like people to call me my real name online, so I understand that. Oh, yeah, the Christmas Elf role plays. I think I watched them. I think I watched them and I think I liked them. Well, I definitely did like them if I watched them, for sure. Am I looking very, very ridiculous? Like, I remember when I was purchasing this on Amazon, I was like, I'm gonna grab a pink one because it's looking like my skin and it's not gonna be that obvious on camera. And then I look in the viewfinders and I'm just ridiculous. So, who likes Keanu Reeves, by the way? Like, can I just vent about how obsessed I am with that man? Oh, I also want to vent about a crazy story that I was talking about it with my therapist. So basically, no, it's really very like serious. So if you guys want to like unwind and not really think about this serious stuff, that's okay. It's more about like orientation. So if you want to like keep it lightweight, I get it, and I will wait for your red or green light to actually talk about it. Jim Caviezel and Christopher Meloni. Let me search for these guys. I don't know who they are. Why am I so ignorant? So Christopher Meloni, is that an Italian name? Jim Caviezel? Caviezel? Oh God, elegant. You have a fine taste. And the other one was Christopher Meloni. Christopher Meloni. Hey Quincy P. Morris. How can I call you? Is it okay if I call you Quincy P. Morris? Christopher Meloni. Ooh, okay. You like strong man, like those that you think like this one has the balls. I get it. So, I was talking to my therapist the other week, like actually 2 weeks ago, and just basically I have a personal problem with human interactions. We were trying to like go back to the roots of this, and in order to do so, he asked me to tell him a little bit. Let me take this off. This is serious. He asked me to tell him a little bit about my past relationship and like, you know, how I was interacting with the other human beings that I was attracted to. And I made a joke that is not a joke, it was true. And I was like, when I was a teenager, I didn't have many like boyfriends or stuff, especially because most of the guys I liked were gay, so they were not interested in me. And he asked me to describe a little bit of this, guys, and he told me that basically that's because my sexual orientation is not straight, I would say, and it's always been very gender fluid. And it's something that I only realized actually a couple months ago, like completely. It's always been there for me, but I never really, like, I never considered myself a bisexual person. So I didn't know how to, like, define myself whatsoever. But I've never been straight my entire life, and I don't know, it's hitting me. Like, I've always known it, but I never had the courage to admit that to myself. I remember that when I was, like, younger, many times I would, like, see a person and be like, oh my gosh, that's a hooter. And then I realized it was a woman, and I was like, oh my gosh, shame on me, I cannot say that, because I'm coming from a very small town, you guys. And now things are changing a little bit, but like a very little bit. And back then, it was crazy. You were either straight or gay. There was no in between. And if you were gay, you were bullied, period. So, of course, I could not allow myself to have this kind of inclinations. And I remember telling me, oh, that's wrong. That's because you're half blind, probably. Like, my eyes are really weak. And yeah, queerness is very attractive. And it's crazy. Like, you guys, I wish I listened to myself a long way before this happened. Like, I was telling Lauren during my mental breakdowns that sometimes I would talk to my mom and I would be like, I don't know, maybe talking about like some people that are gay, and I would be like, I don't understand like these labels. I feel like sometimes we just fall in love with a person, like every time we actually fall in love with a person, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Like, how many times have you happened to be like, oh my gosh, I wish that wasn't my same sex so I could just fall in love with that person? And my mom was like, that actually never happened to me. And I was like, what the heck? What do you mean that never happened to you? Do you mean that, like, if it's a woman, then you don't even have thoughts about that person just because it's a woman? Like, I've never seen gender identity as a how can I say, a preclusive obstacle. With me, I didn't know you could be trans for my entire childhood. I know, right? Because we're so used to like labeling things, and we always think like that this kind of inclinations belong to others. Like, I'm an average person. I'm not like that. I'm an average person. I cannot be different. That's what we're taught to think. Oh, thank you for understanding me, Junie. For me, it was like this concept was so clear in my head. But whenever I talked about it with people, thinking that it was normal, people were like, what are you even talking about? And I was like, that's so obvious. Like, this is red. It is so obvious that it is red. And that same concept that I was trying to express was as obvious as this being red. But people would look at me like I was crazy. And I was so confused. I was like freaking confused. I remember like there was this girl. She's like a lesbian. She's always been like, she's a masked lesbian, but she's always been very intriguing. And I remember that I was like freaking attracted to her. And I was thinking, why am I not lesbian? So I could just, have a chance to get deeper in this intrigue. But no, I can't because I'm straight. Like, my mind was telling me these things all the time. Like, you cannot be attracted to that person because you are straight. But then it was also telling me things like, why are you then being attracted to that person if you're straight? It was a crazy thing. I mean, Junie, I think like if I somehow told my parents like I'm gay, they'd be like, that's okay, we're proud of you. Or like if I kind of knew how to like label myself, they would understand that. But the problem is that I was expressing this concept without knowing myself what that was. Hi, certified hustler, how are you doing? So yeah, now there is so much more information, luckily, but like it's crazy because like in my small town, but even like in general, like people are still being labeled. And like my parents' best friends have a son, and he's gay. He lives in Milan, far away from here, because people here have been giving him hell since he was a child. And sometimes like especially my father, he's not a homophobe, he's not against, he's not like, it's just that he is from a different generation where some kind of jokes were allowed and it wasn't seen as bad. Like, it's, I hate to say that, but it's ignorance. And so there is this way to take the distance from the concept, like I'm not gay, so I joke about gays because I am not gay. I respect gay people, but I am not one of those. And sometimes funny jokes come. And one day he was talking to these friends, and he told me that he had to control myself because he was like, it is normal that at some point during the conversation you can come up with a funny joke about homosexual people. And I had to, control myself. My father is the most amazing human being that is in this world. Okay, he's not coming from a bad place, I promise. I know it sounds bad, but I feel like I'm shading my father, and I would never want to do that. I'm just trying to explain, like, it's just this thing, this misconception that has been like inside people's heads for so long. Yeah, small towns are crazy. So like here is where I live. Then there is my landlord's house, and in the next house there is a gay couple. They live together, and one of the two guys is the son of a woman who lives in my parents' small town. And so they know that he's gay. And bye, Zaki, good night. Thank you for spending some time with us. So they know that he's gay. And I remember one day I was in the car with my father, and we crossed his car. He was in his car with his partner, and my dad called them gay in a very disrespectful way. And then he said, I know it's not fair to say that, but it's something that you cannot control. Like, gay people will not be able to live a normal life. They deserve it, they should, but the society is not ready for that. You see how much criticism, how much funny jokes come out of nowhere. Like, he's aware, but that's what I'm trying to say. He is aware, but at the same time, he cannot help himself. Have a look for sisters. Yeah, Jesse, I know, but literally, I promise that my father does have support for them as well, and I'm sure he wouldn't have a problem with me or my brother being gay. But there is so much misconception. One day we were actually talking, and he was like, I don't have a problem with gay people. I just don't understand bisexual people. But this is not my father. This is society. Like, here we are so ignorant. I really don't blame it on my father. Like, he is trying his very best, and I swear to God, like, I could tell my father that I'm bisexual tomorrow and he would still love me. But I haven't told him yet because I'm in a relationship, and I don't think it's like the case to tell him, if that makes sense. But anyways, I know he would still love me. But anyways, he said he doesn't understand bisexuals because you're either gay or straight. But as I was talking to my therapist, it's really like society that is seeding this crazy concept inside of us. My therapist said sexuality is like a normal taste. You can like chocolate, you can like vanilla, you can like both, you can only like one of them. I mean, it's the same thing. Why would you not be allowed to love chocolate and still enjoy vanilla? It's literally that simple. But there is the church, there is the people's ignorance and the mocking and the harassment and all this crazy stuff that really it makes us feel like we have to justify ourselves. Like, yes, I understand people with a different sexuality and I respect them, but hell no, I'm not like them. Like, why? Yeah, I'm slowly trying to do it with my father, actually. One little step at a time. I tried to, like, introduce him to the concept of sexuality being, like, just a taste. I want to try to say that. I was about to tell him one day, but then I got blocked. I think it was too much. Like, we were talking about, sexuality and stuff, and I kind of made him understand that it's like time to stop being so close-minded, and he was like, yes, it's true, we gotta open our minds more and stuff like that. The taste is thing, I was about to tell him. I really was about to tell him, but I was like, I don't want to confuse him too much. Not yet. It's something that I need to work one step at a time. Okay, to him he said nothing, but then wanted to do it. It's bad. I see, I understand the reaction. I've seen the reaction in George when I told him about my sexuality. Well, of course, it's nothing in comparison, but it's like, let's just not talk about it because this is making me uncomfortable. I love you, but please don't tell me more, kind of thing, if that makes sense. And I'm sorry that your father had the same reaction. I think it's more of a fear rather than a reject, if that makes sense. He's probably afraid that you're going to suffer a lot, that you're going to feel uncomfortable. I don't think that comes from a place of hate. But still, it's a disappointing reaction. Like, you would like to, start a conversation, be a little more open maybe, and stuff like that, and you see a wall in front of you. Yeah, it's definitely hurtful. It's definitely hurtful because you're taking all the courage you have and you're just putting it to the table and basically getting really naked and telling your real soul. And of course, a wall is, yeah, of course, it could have been much worse. There is a family here in this small town. They're husband and wife. Their daughter is lesbian, and she has a wonderful baby with her partner. And the mother, which would be the baby's grandmother, is in love with the couple and with the baby, and she's so obsessed with being a grandmother and stuff. But the man doesn't even talk to his daughter. He has never seen the nephew. Like, what? It's 2021, oh my god. We tried to talk about it a couple times. One night, so the first time we talked about it, it was at dinner time. I recently talked about it with Lauren, and I thought it was okay to tell him, and he was like really neglecting the topic. I told him that basically I experienced an attraction for women in the past and that I'm not like totally straight, and he just tried his best to end the conversation soon, and I respected that because he was tired and stuff. So a couple days later, it was night, we were laying in bed, so it was dark, and I think that sometimes talking in the dark is really helpful because you don't see other people's reactions, and it's easier to really express your thoughts and to listen. So we talked about it a little more in depth, and I told him about my therapist's reaction and explanation, and he was like, so basically, are you telling me that you're bisexual? Hugs to you, Lauren. And I was like, well, I don't know if it's actually bisexual or pansexual, but I'm definitely not straight. It doesn't change facts that I am in love with you and I want to spend my entire life with you, but I have been attracted to women in the past, and now I understand that attraction was a little more than what I thought it was. It was valid. It made sense. Like, hugs to you as well, Toonie. And I brought him an example of when we were in Brazil. There was this Uber girl who was lesbian, and I was like petrified, like, so attracted to her. And she also blinked one eye to me, and I was like, what is happening? And I told him, that girl, she had an impact on me. And I could understand that he was uncomfortable, but he also kind of listened to me. And we talked about what my therapist says about the tastes and stuff, and about the fact that people can have some fantasies that not necessarily resemble what you really want and stuff like that. So we even went deeper into that, and he kind of drove the conversation more towards that, or maybe I kind of did, like, to make him understand. Like, I was like, I'm sure you do have some fantasies that you don't necessarily want to, like, practice, but they still tickle you. And we talked a lot about that, and I thought we had a great exchange of information that night, but we haven't talked about it anymore until like a couple days ago, when I told him that I was joking with my therapist about the fact that I liked a lot of gay guys when I was younger, and the explanation was about this gender fluidity that I have, this queerness attraction. And he just didn't want to talk about it anymore. I was like, oh, okay, and then talk about something else. No, I my mistake. He said, like, no, it's my fault. He said that the thing about taste is, like, you can like vanilla chocolate, things like that. And then he started this second conversation being like about sexuality and about how society influences our sexuality a lot and impacts it in a way. And then he said that we might also have like some fantasies that we don't want to try in real life, but that still tickle us. But it was not like related to my preferences in terms of genders or orientations. It was more about the fact that he said that if I had this doubt, I should find out and do some research. And I was like, how am I going to research if I'm in a stable relationship and I don't want to cheat on my boyfriend? And he said, cheating is full of this moral concept, and so is monogamy. But you do you. There are other ways to find out. It's not that you have to necessarily cheat on your boyfriend if you don't feel like doing so. But he was like trying to how can I say, remove that judgmental thing that society has about things, especially in terms of sexuality and sexual orientation and stuff like that. So that's what I was trying to say, but I think I got too overwhelmed by the entire conversation that I didn't really explain that correctly. But basically I started telling George about my sexual orientation, and then I think I moved the speech towards these hidden fantasies, just to, hi Nat, how you doing? Just to, maybe make him talk a little bit and see how he was coping with that. But I think he kind of basically removed the information from his brain. Like, he wouldn't say my girlfriend's a queer or things like that, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know what reaction was I expecting, actually. But the ignoring is definitely not a pleasant reaction, for sure. And then when we talked about cheating, he was like, I would never, like, if you cheated on me, I would be mad, of course. I would cry, I would freak out. But if you cheat on me with a man, I can, like, overcome it. But if you cheat on me with a woman, I would never overcome this, because it really would mine my masculinity. And I was like, what are you even talking about? I mean, I don't think that if my partner cheated on me with a man, I would take it as bad as if he cheated on me with a woman, because it's a different kind of, how can I say, I don't want to say the word competition, but like, I could never compare myself to a man, because there are so many different components. And I'm not talking about like biological, but just about identity. If you identify yourself as a man, you do have just different, I don't know if I'm like maybe rambling a lot right now. What I'm trying to say is that, like, if you cheat on me with a woman, I'm gonna think she's prettier, she's more fun, she might have bigger boobs, a firmer booty, but also she knows how to flirt, she knows how to keep you intrigued and stuff like that. But if you cheat on me with a man, there is no comparison. It's another planet, if that makes sense. Oh, thank you so much for telling me, Lauren. I was being so afraid of being rambling like crazy. Oh, really? You don't? Well, I think it's very personal at this point. You see, some things, we do take them a lot for granted, but there is like a world of shades that we don't even realize. I think it's very, very interesting to talk about it and bring the conversation and just share this conversation with people who understand or have a different view on it, and just build knowledge and awareness together, because I feel like there is so much to learn and everything still sounds so awkward, new and different, and yeah, it's crazy, right? I think I bored everybody because like I see there is just 2 people watching right now, or 4 maybe. I don't understand my stats, but we definitely needed to talk about this. I'm sorry if I was boring to some. Yeah, that makes also a lot of sense. Like, it would still hurt a lot, of course. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't hurt. There is a couple here in this small town where I live. The girl, I promise it was not a fart, it's my chair. I have sweaty legs and it makes this sound, I promise. There was a couple. The girl was in school with me. She's 2 years younger than me. And they had a baby. And then the father, her husband, left her and the baby because he fell in love with a man. And now he lives with his partner. And you cannot imagine the gossip here. Like, oh, thank you, Johnny. Well, I think, like, experience or not, like, being cheated is, like, you can't imagine how bad that can feel. And it's feeling really bad, so. Oh, goodness. I hope you don't hear my boyfriend snoring. Like, I can hear him. He's in the other room. And there are closed doors, but he is snoring this loud, you guys. I apologize if you hear him. But yeah, the gossip about him being gone with a man. I'm like, actually, I was so happy that he found himself and left the bitch, because she's such a bitch and I hate her so much. No, it's not that I hate her, I dislike her so much. And I was like, yeah, you deserve it. You think you're the best of the world, and then he leaves you for somebody else. Yes. So yeah, I'm starting to get so sleepy, you guys. You know, I'm usually already in bed by this time of the evening. Oh, I'm so glad you haven't heard the snoring. Like, he snores so loud. Sometimes in the night I wake up and just punch him in order for him to stop. And sometimes he gets mad because I wake him up. Some other times he just stops snoring for a couple seconds, then he starts snoring again. But yeah, it's crazy. But lately he's sleeping a lot on the couch because there has been a small event here in this town, and they made music until very late at night, and from our bedroom you could hear it very loud, but in the living room you couldn't hear it that much. So he's been sleeping on the couch for a couple nights, and he gets so used to that. So now he fell asleep on the couch, and I'm really doubtful whether to wake him up or not when it's gonna be time to go to sleep, so I can just sleep. Oh, Junie, it's a struggle. Well, antidepressants are really helping me sleep a lot. So that helps. That makes me sleep. But I do wake up a lot in the night, and I tried to wear earplugs, but for some reason they irritate my ear canal, and to the point that I cannot even yawn, that it hurts. So I have no choice but being exposed to his loud snoring until the moment I really fall deep into sleep. When I fall asleep quite deeply, it's not easy to wake me up. So I mean, even if he snores, I don't hear him much. But in the phase before that, it's like constantly me trying to punch him or just tickling his face, so he kind of wakes up, but not completely, but it just stops snoring, and it's just me doing it for something like hours maybe. That's why I go to sleep so early, because I need a lot of time to fall asleep, and he snores like crazy. I think I do snore as well, though. Literally, antidepressants helped me so bad. I've always loved sleeping, but especially during the past year, it was really hard for me to sleep at night, and many times I would wake up like in the middle of the night and spend hours awake before finding sleep again, if I ever did find some. But now with these antidepressants, like, I lay and I feel like my body's slowly surrendering to the lovely sensation of, dozing off and relaxing and stuff. And even if I like wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes I need to go to pee. I'm not young anymore, and I cannot stay one entire night without peeing most of the time. And so the cool thing is that I can fall back asleep quite immediately, whereas in the past it was like it would take me hours to fall back to sleep. Definitely, sleeping is one of the most beautiful things in the world. Like, to me, it's something sacred. Like, if I had to choose between going to a party and sleeping, I would pick sleeping. So many times I bet I picked sleeping over partying, and I don't regret that. Sleeping is like the most important thing ever. Like, if I, for example, have an event or something that ends too late at night, I'm already being like worried. How am I going to sleep? How am I going to, you know, get my beauty sleep and wake up in the morning? Because now I have this goal that I need to wake up at 7 a.m. every morning, and I don't want to skip a morning. Actually, tomorrow I wish I could wake up a little earlier than that so I could film, but I don't know if I'm actually doing it. But I think I would, because I also want to dye my hair in the weekend, and I still want to do a couple videos with this hair before dyeing it. So yeah, I don't really know. I should wake up early, but who knows? I mean, it's almost 11. No, it's actually 10:20, but how could I even wake up at 7 a.m.? Come on, are you kidding me? I need to sleep 9 hours at least. I mean, not really 9 hours of full sleep, but it takes me forever to fall asleep. So, that sensation where you're halfway between sleeping and halfway between being awake, it lasts a lot for me. So, and I actually like to enjoy it. So I need the time. Sleeping is the best thing in the world, definitely. Yes, it does. It did sound to me as well. You have to consider though that I usually go to bed very early. George wakes up at 5 a.m., so he does go to bed early. There would be no reason for me to stay awake until later alone. So I helped myself to find this rhythm, I would say, where I go to bed around 9:30, so I can quite easily wake up at 7 or sometimes even before 7. And it's so cool because I can get so many things done in the morning, but literally until not even 2 years ago. What am I even saying? Last year when I was working at McDonald's, many times I would finish working at 3 a.m. and then I would go home, have a shower, and then be like so full of adrenaline, because when you have to do the night shift and you have to run all over the place, then there is no way you can fall asleep right after you're done working, especially if you have a special shower after that. So I would sometimes fall asleep at 6 a.m. and then wake up really late. I remember that some days I had to put an alarm at 12 p.m. in order for me to wake up. Otherwise, I would sleep until 2. And that was my life. Those few times where I had morning shifts, I was like so worried. Like if I had like the early morning shifts where we would start at 7 a.m., I had to wake up at 5:30 because I had 40 minutes drive and then get changed in the locker room and do my makeup and stuff. So I would wake up around 5:30, and I would go to bed even at 8 the night before, because I wanted to allow myself to have plenty of time to fall asleep and not think about me having too little time to sleep. And I was just worried, like thinking about that. If, like, let's suppose I had this early morning shift on a Wednesday, I would start worrying about it since Sunday or Monday, thinking, oh my gosh, in 2 days I'm waking up early. Mixing is the worst thing that could ever happen to your body. I promise. You're completely flipped, because those times when you want to go to bed at 8 p.m., you cannot fall asleep at 8 p.m. considering that the night before you probably went to sleep at 5 a.m. Sometimes, like some Saturdays, I would work until let me think, 5 a.m. in the morning. So actually Sunday morning, 5 a.m. Then I would have a Sunday afternoon shift, something that would allow me to finish working around 7/8 p.m. And then I would have to work Monday morning starting at 7 a.m., which meant that I had to wake up at the same time that 24 hours before I was going to sleep. So basically you had to fit two sleep cycles in one day, but you also had to work, and it was really crazy. Like it felt so harsh on the body. You never had a balance, you never had time to get used to something. I remember that there has been 3 days where I had 3 consecutive morning shifts, and I kind of got used to waking up that early, but it still was so brutal because in the mornings you have to like really run and do a lot of things. Like, I was devastated, but I was going to bed at 8 p.m. and I was sleeping like a child. It was amazing. Where I'd sleep at work, but only for about 4 hours, and needed to sleep when I got home midday too. Yeah, that's really insane. A good sleeping schedule is fundamental. Like, my brother is epileptic, so his neurologist told him that it's fundamental to have a good sleep schedule. And I mean, not only for people who have epilepsy, everybody needs to sleep properly. And the past 8 years working at McDonald's, I didn't even know what sleeping properly meant. Many times I ended up changing shifts with my co-workers so I could give away the mornings and still going on that schedule of late nights, waking up at 12 or 1 p.m. and then, working in the night and going to bed at 4 a.m., stuff like that. Sometimes I wouldn't even sleep. 2 times in my life I did that. And considering who I am, that's a lot. Like, I went to work, then went to out. I was in love with this person and I did anything I could to be with him. So I wouldn't sleep, and then I would go to work again the next day with 0 hours of sleep. I was devastated, but love makes you do it. But anyway, seriously though, the past 8 years I had the worst sleep schedule ever, and I needed to re-educate myself to a decent sleeping schedule. I did skip sleep for work. Well, actually, I skipped sleep for that guy, because that was the only occasion we had to meet. I knew that I had to work the next morning, but I was like, that's the only way we can be together, so I gotta do it with the wings of love. And yeah, I'm exhausted by just telling you that. I did that twice in my life. Like, it was terrific. I remember this specific day I finished working at 10 p.m. He was finishing working at midnight. So I waited for him for 2 hours in the, well, I don't want to say cold winter because you're from Sweden and your winter is way colder than mine, but in the winter, I waited for him for 2 hours in my car. And then we went to his house, and we stayed awake the entire night. He had like this giant room full of snakes. He showed me his snakes. We feeded the snakes. We feeded the mice, because he did have mice as well. We watched TV. We did so many things until 7 in the morning. Then at 7 in the morning, I'm a disgusting person, I'm sorry. But at 7 in the morning, his fiance would come home, so I had to leave. I was in love. I cannot help it. I knew I was doing something wrong, but I was so freaking in love with him, and I couldn't help it. So I left, and then I waited 3 hours, and then I went to work and worked a 6-hour shift with the rush hour at lunch. And I can swear to God that I was so freaking devastated. But if he asked me to do that again the next day, honestly I would, because I was obsessed with that person. Like, being a borderline personality disordered person and finding a narcissist abusing of your weaknesses is the perfect combo for a disaster. Was that guy you talked about? No, the DJ was my Dominican boyfriend. The guy, I think I talked about him. I'm not really sure, because it was like a secret that we were actually having this relationship. So I'm not really sure that I talked about him a lot. But he was my coworker. It was crazy. Like, thank you for not judging me. I do judge myself though. Like, I was freaking in love with him, but I was also friend with his girlfriend, and I tried to be kinder to her, as kind as I could, because I felt guilty. So I was always trying to like talk to her. No, don't worry about that. Maybe I didn't talk about it much, Junie. I don't even remember if I talked about it actually. But yeah, definitely narcissists have borderline people are a narcissist's playground, literally. In fact, like, he was having a lot of fun with my dedication. I remember one day my grandmother had to paint the walls of her house, and she was searching for somebody to do that. And I was like, oh, we can ask my coworker. His name was Jack. We can ask Jack. And she was like, all right, then let's ask him. Of course, she was gonna pay him. So I asked him, and we scheduled that he was going to paint the walls on a Thursday. That was my day off. So Thursday comes, I go pick him up. He lived 40 kilometers away from where I live, but I went pick him up because he and his girlfriend only had one car and she needed the car. So I drove there in my day off, picked him up. We went buying the paint, then we drove to my grandmother's house. We ate lunch, we started preparing the paint, and it got so freaking late, and I was like, we gotta start, because we only have today to do it. And basically the first day we did just a room, I think, or something like that. So I knew that we had to finish the next day. I told him, could you come tomorrow, because we gotta finish this work. My grandma is relying on me, and I recommended her you. It was like, okay, no worries. So the next day I woke up at 7 to go pick him up. The problem is that I was starting my night shift at 10 p.m. that day. I woke up at 7, drove 40 kilometers, went at his house. There was his girlfriend. She was freaking mad and annoyed because he was leaving her alone to come with me. But it was for a job, so, he said he was gonna do that. I did not force him. I picked him up. We drove 40 kilometers to my grandma's house. We painted for the entire day. We finished painting at 6 p.m. I had a shower. I drove 40 kilometers, took him home. His girlfriend was at work, so we ate pizza together until it came time for me to go to work. I've shown up at work in time, of course. I had to start at 10 p.m. I was supposed to finish at 3 a.m. in the morning, but nobody told me that my shift had been changed, and I was actually ending at 4 a.m. in the morning. And my manager was like, I'm sorry I did not warn you, but would it be a problem for you to finish at 4 rather than 3? And I was like, no. But I was dying inside. I was exhausted. I had terrible cervical pain. It was the longest night of my life. Yeah, the sacrifice I made for others who didn't even prize my sacrifices. I don't know what was I expecting from that guy. I knew that he was with his fiance and that they had a son, but I was totally in love. Like I couldn't help that freaking feeling. I was obsessed with him, and he was feeding my obsession so well, because he was searching for me sometimes and then pushing me away, and I was like, no, I cannot stay away from you, I gotta find you again. And this was like a sick game where I ended up being even more attached to him and even more worried of losing him. I remember that one night, this is crazy story, the last night we met, so his girlfriend and their son were supposed to sleep at the girlfriend's parents' house, so he invited me over. We were there together, and he was always on the phone. At some point, he told me, you have to go, I'm sorry, she's coming back home. And it was pouring rain, like raining cats and dogs, to a point that it was even dangerous to be on the road. It was like March or something, so it's like a very rainy season. And I told him, listen, but is she staying? Because like it's 4 a.m. How am I supposed to go home with this crazy weather? And he told me, if she's not staying, I'm gonna tell you and you're coming back. And I was like, all right. Then I waited like something like 10 minutes and texted him, and he told me, well, the situation is that she took off her jacket. Her parents did not take off their jackets, so I think she's staying and they're leaving. And sorry, I should not stay on the phone much because I don't want people to get suspicious. So I was in this city, 40 kilometers away from home, pouring rain, late night. What am I gonna do? I remembered that one day, the DJ, my ex-boyfriend, the one who punched me in the face and gave me a black eye, told me that in case I need it, I could go and sleep at his house that used to be our house, a rental house. So I texted him. I was so desperate that I texted him and I told him, listen, can I sleep at your house? Because I have nowhere to go. And he said, I'm sorry, it's not the case. I was like, what? I can't believe it. I have to drive back home. And you guys, the road was crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys know the aquaplaning problem. Basically, I drove 40 kilometers surfing on the road with such a darkness, and all the drops of the puddles going on my glass and the rain pouring, and I was exhausted and I was confused and I was asking myself, what the fuck was I doing with my life? And I understood it, that he was just telling me to leave. I don't even know if his girlfriend really came home, because I realized it from the way he looked at me when we said bye to each other. I perceived a gaze in his eyes like, I'm never gonna call you back. In fact, he didn't. So at some point, I don't know, he told me to text him whenever I got home because he was worried. So I texted him like, I'm home now. And he was like, oh my gosh, did it take you so long to go home? It was like almost 5 a.m. And I was like, yeah, you know, the weather is crazy. I live very far away. So, I mean, it's obvious that it took me a lot of time to go home. And he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I feel guilty now. I'm gonna be messaging with you until you fall asleep. I was like, what? He told me that he couldn't stay on the phone like 40 minutes ago, and now he wants to text me until I fall asleep? This is crazy. Yeah, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I think it's part of the growth of everyone at some point, but it's also so bad to realize it. Anyways, that night I was feeling devastated. I was like, I love him so much. I need to be with him so much, and I can't have him. And I cannot take this situation anymore. I don't know how to handle it. I felt like my heart was breaking. I felt like my stomach was nodding, and I couldn't sleep. I was shaking. I was cold. I was nervous. I was scared. I was terrified because I knew that we were not going to be together, but I couldn't imagine my life without him. So I decided that I was going to write him a letter, because the next day we were having a briefing at work that started at 10 a.m., by the way. So I wrote a letter where I was revealing my feelings and telling him that I was very sorry for feeling that way, but I couldn't hide it anymore. And I knew that it was unfair for his fiance, and that I shouldn't allow my feelings to take over and stuff like that, but I needed to tell him the truth. And then the meeting comes. He doesn't show up. Hey, Infinity, hello, how are you doing? I am just telling the story of my sad, sentimental life here. So the meeting comes and he doesn't show up. I try to text him and I'm like, do you want me to say something specific for you to our boss, just, since you're not being here? And he didn't even reply to me. So I never gave him the letter. And he replied me like after several hours, being like, no, don't worry, I don't care. And then I don't know, after that everything kind of stopped, but I was like, it took me a long while to get over him and kind of mask my feelings, I guess. And yeah, insane, right? We really end up numbing ourselves when we are desperately in love with somebody. You guys, it's almost 11 p.m. I think I'm gonna end this live stream right now, because I've been really talking a huge lot. And I still aim to wake up early tomorrow and hopefully film the last videos with my platinum blonde hair. No spoilers, and I don't even know if I'm gonna actually wake up, but the intention is to do so. So in order to make this happen, I think I'm gonna close this live stream right now. Thank you guys so much for keeping me company. Oh yeah, I've been through a lot of shit. A lot. I could write a book, I think. I love you too, Junie, like a huge lot. I'm sorry, G, that you've shown up late. I mean, it's not late in your time zone, it's late in my time zone. I wish I had the energy to make it more time zone friendly. But yeah, I gotta close it here, I guess. Thank you so much for keeping me company, or for just showing up. It still means a lot to me, So yeah, I apologize if sometimes I've been like rambling like crazy or being a little bit boring or heavy, but it was really lovely to be listened and understood and to share things with you guys. Happy thought before we go. Yes. Do you mean like a motivational phrase or a visualization? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Never a failure, always a lesson. And this is so freaking true. Like, you think that life can beat you, but it's just, as Bring Me the Horizon will say, all your scars will build your throne. And if you throw me to the wolf, if you throw me in a wolf pack, rewind. If you throw me to the wolf, to the wolves, tomorrow I will come back, leader of the whole pack. Okay. So yeah, I think this is a twist to what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Is a very constructive twist to it, and it really impersons my way to see it. even though it was really rambly and wobbly. But I think this is the happy thought that I would like to share with you guys. And also that, oh no, it's the wrong arm. I will draw my demons even though they know how to swim. You guys, you can tell it's almost nighttime here, right? All right. Hi, Scott Dimitri. I'm sorry that I'm about to close the live stream right now. Thank you for showing up anyways. You guys, thank you so much again. Sorry for being so crazy, I guess. And yeah, I think this we'll see you next time. I mean, I will really close the live stream and see you next time. Oh my gosh, why am I rambling like that? I'm crazy. All right. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you again.